Hi everyone, in today's lesson I'm going to show you 10 ways to use the word alright. Let's begin with some grammar because there are differences between British English and American English and whether you're writing the word alright. So in American English, their preference is to write alright as two words. That's considered more grammatically correct. In British English, it depends. Some people say it should always be written as two words, and some people say it's now acceptable to write all right as one word. Personally, I generally write the word as one word. I write it like this. And that is because I consider it quite an informal expression, and most of the time I use it, it feels to me that it has an informal register. But if you wanted to be really certain that you weren't making a grammatical mistake, if you're writing something formal, then you can spell it two words in British English. Okay, let's move now to examples of when we use this word alright. What's important to know about this word is it has different meanings depending on the tone that we use when we say it. Let's start with here. Number one, when we want to reassure someone, we can say, everything's going to be alright. Don't worry, everything's going to be alright. That's also a song. Do you know it? Everything's gonna be alright. Sorry about my singing. But Bob Marley told us first that everything's gonna be alright. Number two, we can use the word alright to check, is something satisfactory? That means, is it okay? I want to check that the thing I want to do is okay. I can say, does the soup taste all right? I want you to tell me, is it delicious? Does the soup taste all right? Perhaps I'm going out for the evening. I'm not sure what to wear, so I try on my dress and I ask you, is my dress all right? Do you think it's all right for the party? Number three, we say the word all right when we're asking people about their health. Perhaps they've not been well lately, so we can say, are you all right? We can also say that if this would normally happen if you're walking in the street and somebody falls over, maybe they slip because the pavement's wet or they have a bicycle accident, you can say to them, are you all right? Are you all right? And when we say it fast, then it all blends into one. Are you all right? Are you all right? Next we have permission. If you want to sit down somewhere and you're not sure if somebody's already sitting there, you can politely say, is it all right if I sit here? Is it all right? And they'll say, yeah, sure, sit down. My next examples are mainly British English examples, and these are informal expressions, things we would say when we're just chatting in conversation. So here I have spelt all right as one word every time. In my previous examples, I spelt it two ways to show, yes, this is possible, and this is also possible. Depends on your preference. So number five, in British English, in London specifically, but many other areas, especially in the south of England, we can use all right as a greeting. So instead of saying, hello, how are you? We just say to each other, all right? And then they say, all right. We don't really put a lot of enthusiasm in it. All right? All right. So the first all right sounds like more of a question. All right? And it depends. The other one sometimes doesn't sound like a question. All right? All right. But they might do the question sounding one back as well. All right? All right. Depends. Then you can also add mate or love. Very, very informal and very familiar kind of language to use. A lot of people don't like to be called mate or love if they don't actually know you. Some people think it's impolite. So you could say, all right, mate. Or you could say, all right, love. Next, we've got when you say yes to something, but you don't really mean it. You would rather say no, but you don't feel it's possible. So imagine your mum says to you, go and tidy your room, or can you tidy your room today? You'd say, all right. Or you'd say, all right. You're saying yes, you'd rather not do it today, but you don't have a choice. So it's not like, yes, it's not enthusiastic. Number 7 is when somebody says something that's a bit random, like it doesn't really make sense or it's a bit weird. Something that's random is hard to describe, but teenagers find everything random. Oh my God, that's so random. They always think things are weird or a bit embarrassing. So it's a teenager would never say this one. A teenager would never say, all righty then. That comes from an old film called Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and he would use that as a catchphrase. The English version that we always used to say when I was at school is, all right then. That's so random. All right. And you roll your eyes a bit to make it look like, I don't know what's wrong with that person. All right then. So I wondered, because I was at school when we used to say it like that, and that film was the same kind of age, I wondered if it came from the same phrase as the film. Not sure. But yeah, you say that when it's like, it's not really a comeback. It's just, you don't have something witty to say or something clever, but you're just showing that you think that person is like pathetic or, all right then. So it's very teenagery. Next we have passive aggressive. Passive aggressive is when you're angry about something, but you're not expressing it in the most direct way possible. You can say, imagine you're angry at Steve. He did something, you thought he was taking liberties with you, you're not happy about it, but you say to him, all right, Steve, whatever, mate. All right, Steve, whatever, mate. There's more dismissive words in here. Saying whatever is quite dismissive, and calling someone mate when you're angry at them is another way of mate. It's another dismissive way. If you put it all together, obviously it's not all right, the situation. All right, the words themselves mean all right, mean good. But if we use them like this, it actually means the opposite. It's not all right now. But it could mean I don't want to argue with you now. I don't want to make a bigger deal now. But we could also say the same sentence with a more angry tone. And then it wouldn't be passive aggressive. It would just be aggressive. It would be like, all right, Steve, whatever, mate. That would be aggressive. Number 9, we can use it as an exclamation. This would be something like, all right, let's get going. All right, we're done. Come on. And lastly, this one is a British English expression. When you think somebody's good looking, can be a woman, it can be a man. When you think they're good looking, you can say, he's a bit of all right. Or you can say, she's a bit of all right. So there we go. We have different ways to use all right that depend on the tone of voice. These are all British English expressions that we use in informal situations. Americans would also use this one and sometimes number 8 and number 9. And remember, Americans, if they were going to write it, they do 2 words. So that's everything you need to know. All right, now it's time for you to do the quiz. Thanks for watching. Bye.